wilds. The Maguuma Jungle is perhaps the most dangerous place on the continent of Tyria. The Krytans don't often venture inside its borders, and those who do are seldom heard from again. Stories of man-eating plants and gigantic insects are commonly told around the campfires and inside the huts of the local villages, most of the time to scare little children from wandering into its clinging vines. Welcome back to the Guild Wars 1 Let's Play, guys. Today we enter a new region of the game, the Maguuma Jungle, a region dominated by vast arid canyons and dense rainforests. Since we're transitioning to a new part of the game, I want to take some time in this video to get everyone caught up to speed on what has happened in the story so far. Isobel and her party are originally part of a refugee caravan that fled the human nation of Ascalon in the east under the guidance of Prince Rurik, the exiled son of King Adalbern, who refused to back down in the face of a Char invasion after the Searing, a world-altering event that turned Ascalon from a temperate region with rolling hills and cottages to a barren wasteland. Isobel helped Rurik rescue survivors of the Searing and push back the Char initially, but were ultimately exiled by the king for refusing to bend to his will. Rurik decided it was his duty to seek help from another human nation to the west across the Shiver Peaks in Kryta, who haven't had normal relations with Ascalon since the Guild Wars. The refugee caravan battled through the icy, snowy-covered mountains as well as the Stone Summit dwarves who guarded many of the only passable routes. With the aid of a friendly faction of dwarves called the Deldrimor and their king Jalus Ironhammer, Rurik and the caravan finally made it to the other end of the Shiver Peaks to the doorsteps of Kryta, but not without sacrifice. Rurik lost his life buying time for the refugees to escape the Stone Summit and was killed by their leader Dagnar Stonepate. It was Isobel and the henchman's job to guide the refugees the rest of the way to the capital city of Kryta, Lion's Arch. Upon entering the more temperate region of Kryta, Isobel and the refugees were met by many different types of undead creatures. With guidance from an organization called the White Mantle, Isobel and the party battled through the undead to gain entry into the city. Once the refugees from Ascalon were settled in Kryta, the White Mantle requested Isobel's assistance once again after seeing her exploits at the gates of Kryta. The party was asked to deliver a message to a high-ranking officer trapped at a place called the Temple of Tolerance in the town of Hakewood along the Delesial seaboard. Isobel rescued the confessor and helped him retrieve a powerful artifact known as the Scepter Vord. These heroics earned Isobel a spot amongst the ranks of the White Mantle as a knight. Her first task was to aid the White Mantle in escorting an entity known as the Eye of Janthier to a town called Loamhurst in northern Kryta along the edge of an inland lake called the Giant's Basin. This is where Isobel and a group of select humans called the Chosen, who are identified by the Eye of Janthier as being worthy of going to a place called the Temple of the Unseen to train under the Grand Masters of the White Mantle. Once we deliver the Eye, however, the caravan of Chosen is ambushed and captured on their way west towards the Maguuma Jungle by a group of shadowy figures led by a woman named Saidra. And that brings us to our first mission in the Maguuma region called the Wilds. We've been asked by the White Mantle to pursue these captors and find out where they've hidden the Chosen. I'll admit I had some difficulty with this mission and wiped during my first playthrough. It just so happened that there was another human player by the name of Asbjorn who invited me while I was in the mission outpost. He was a level 20 player who brought his heroes along. Now I intended for this to be a solo let's play, but decided that this would only add to Isobel's story, and it didn't mean that we just wiped the floor with the mobs. We actually had some difficulty and nearly wiped ourselves, as you see in the footage. We do see many new and returning enemy types in this mission that each require their own strategies to defeat. There are the centaurs who have a mix of melee, ranged, and healers that need to be focus targeted and brought down quick or they will overwhelm your back line. The warrior centaurs hit especially hard now and can't be ignored as easily as they were in the Shiver Peaks. There's also the Wind Riders, floating beings with tentacles that cast mesmer hexes which cause health degeneration. Try to interrupt their conjured phantasm skill. You also have the jungle trolls and jungle spiders. Jungle trolls have high health pools but are otherwise pretty easy to take down. If you take a skill interrupt spell, use it when they cast the ranger skill Troll's Ungent, which is a heal over time. The jungle spiders are an annoyance mostly, but can cast Condi spells that need to be healed away or removed. The bonus objective is found early in the mission by taking a path to the south and discovering a plan hatched by the centaurs to strike back at the humans. Your job is to stop this plan by assassinating the two leaders found in the northern part of the map, Romtha Brokenhoof, and Horned Froststrider. We have to use a fine seed, which creates a bridge that allows us to access this part of the map. As with all other bundles, this one prevents you from using any weapon skills. It does have a cool benefit though. When you drop the seed on the ground, it will interrupt and knock down foes for a few seconds. I did not use this to great effect during this mission, but I should have. After avoiding a party wipe and knocking out the centaur bosses to complete the bonus objective, Asbjorn and I resumed our pursuit of the Shining Blade through the jungle. We discovered that the Chosen have been captured by jungle spiders and trapped in cocoons. As we approach, we are met by a human named Avenia and asked to save the Chosen before seeing a cutscene.
Oh no, please, no. You there. You can chase us through the jungle later. But if you have even a shred of decency in your heart, I beseech you, help us save the Chosen.
Well, amid some confusion, we decided to accept Avenia's request for aid and defeat the spiders to save the Chosen, who we thought were captives of the Shining Blade, but it turns out the Shining Blade were saving the Chosen from some tragic fate with the White Mantle. The story keeps throwing new twists and turns at us, and it's hard to tell who our allies are right now.
You have exactly 10 seconds to explain yourselves before we run you through.
Perhaps it is you who needs to be doing the explaining.
What are you going to do to us?
I don't know what to make of you. You're not typical White Mantle, as evidenced by your bravery and willingness to help save the Chosen. Had you not shown up when you did, we might have lost them after all.
Lost them? You weren't trying to get them killed?
What did you think? That we liberated the Chosen from the murderous mantle only to feed them to the spiders? Nothing could be farther from the truth.
Then what were you doing?
Rescuing them from the mantle, that's what. The spiders were a miscalculation.
I don't trust them, Avenia. They're mantle, plain and simple.
I can see that, Marcus. But something tells me if they see for themselves what the White Mantle really do to the Chosen, they'll have a change of heart about their masters.
What are you saying? That you mean to let them go?
Yes, Marcus. That's exactly what I mean to do. Who knows? Once they've seen the Bloodstone, they may end up being valuable allies.
This is a mistake, Avenia.
Maybe it is. If my hunch about you is correct, then you'll head to Bloodstone Fen. The truth about the White Mantle will reveal itself, and you will be faced with a difficult decision.
So before, we were rescuing Chosen from the Shining Blade, only to find out the Shining Blade, we're rescuing the Chosen from the White Mantle, and now we're really not sure who the good guys are. Even with those words from Avenia, we can see that the rest of the Shining Blade still doesn't trust us very much at all. We'll have to see how this pans out in the next episode. I'll see you guys next time. And guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you know when the next upload goes live.